Hey guys, Foxdrop here showing you the top 5 junglers in solo queue for the current patch 5.14. This is a bit of a special video because today we're teaming up with Fi, who's helped us make this list. He's also doing this kind of video for every other role over on his own channel, so if you're interested, you should go and check him out. Cracking right on with things though, at number 5 on this list we have everyone's favourite fat man, Gragas. There was a long time where Graggy was arguably the strongest jungler around during the peak of the tank meta. Right now though, tanks and Gragas are a little less oppressive, but he's still got a very solid early game with decent clears, sustain, ganking, and okay dueling too. He's also quite versatile later on, being solid at both protecting allies and disrupting enemies. Likewise, he's also very safe as a jungler too. His well-rounded playstyle removes any glaring weaknesses, stuff that you could be exploited by when you're playing. Not to mention, tanks in general tend to be useful regardless of their performance, as all they've really got to do is soak stuff up. Gragas' fall from dominance is mostly due to a mixture of nerfs to his core item build, some small nerfs to his own kit, and a shift in the overall meta. Still, he is a very solid, well-rounded jungler, and probably the best pure tank option. And now I'm going to hand you off to Fi, who's going to fill you in with the next picks on this list.
So it looks like you guys are stuck with me for number 4 and number 3, and at number 4 we're going to be looking at Shyvana first. Now Shyvana has actually been a good champion for a while, it's just this rise of the Devourer that really has tipped her over the edge. Now she has amazing farm and clear speed, like she is a proper jungle machine and she can get a lot of items and a lot of gold quite quickly. This is kind of one of her problems, like she is really good at farming but she doesn't have much of an impact early, but late game she becomes a huge powerhouse. Now part of this is because she's really hard to beat in a 1v1 and it makes her a very good counter jungler because if you ever run into the enemy jungler then you can chase them away, but it also makes it very risky to counter jungle against Shyvana. Like if she ever finds you then she's faster than you with her W and she'll output more damage than you, so you're pretty screwed. Now people underestimate her damage a lot, but a big part they actually underestimate the most is from her Q, her twin buy, and that's especially with the Blade of the Ruined King. So Blade of the Ruined King's passive is 8% of the target's current health on hit, and because you hit twice with your Q, you actually proc that effect twice, so you'll be doing effectively 16% of their current health. Now Shyvana is best picked with strong laners who don't need much assistance, which will allow her to reach that crazy state, and this is kind of why we didn't put her higher on this list, because if your team starts to get behind, there isn't really much you can do about it. So at number 3, taking our bronze medal, is going to be Kayle, and Kayle is definitely one of the most annoying champions you're ever going to play against. Now one of the reasons why she's so annoying but also so good is because of how versatile she is. She has so much utility, she has a really good heal, her ultimate, but also a huge amount of damage. Now it's not just in her actual kit that there's a lot of versatility, but in her build as well, and that is really interesting in the jungle because there are 2 distinct paths. Now the first path, and the reason you're probably thinking we put her on this list, is because of the Devourer, right? The new Devourer, it procs on hit, really good with the Kayle on hit attack speed build that people used to build anyway. So yeah, this is true, like Devourer is really good on Kayle, but you'll actually be interested to know that her Runeglaive build has about a 5% higher win rate than the Devourer one. Now this isn't all just in the win rates because Devourer is being played more right now, but Runeglaive is probably a better build in this meta at the moment because you have an earlier impact and you don't need to farm as much. It really depends on the game, like if the game is going to go for a long time and you're against another Devourer jungle who's just going to farm, then maybe you do want to go Devourer and you just want to mirror him and become a beast late game. But if you're against a heavy early impact jungler like a Nidalee or a Rek'Sai for example, then maybe Runeglaive would be a better idea so you can actually help your lanes a little bit earlier. Now Kayle in herself is a very solid jungler because of her AoE clear speed, her ganks aren't terrible, but her mid to late game teamfighting is great and that is why you really pick her. Now before you actually get a hold of your jungle item, whether it is Runeglaive or whether it is Devourer, you're kind of a bit average, like you don't farm great, you don't gank great, but it's a huge spike after you get either of those items. Now the reason Kayle is coming back now and the reason she is so strong is because she has so much utility, she has so much damage, and the meta and the builds right now really suit her and her playstyle.
And coming in as the runner-up is Rek'Sai. She truly is a queen in every sense of the word, and her ability to adapt to different playstyles and metas is really very impressive. Being able to effectively fill both the tank and bruiser archetypes allows for a lot of versatility. As such, she's retained regality since her release. She has a crazy early game, having some of the highest damage throughout the first few levels that not only give her solid clears, but also make her very threatening to fight against, whether that's in duels, skirmishes, or ganks. Rek'Sai is capable of being a gank machine with her simple tunnel into knockup combo, or she can use her top-notch clear speeds to farm up and body people in the mid-game. Good use of her tunnel network can give her close to an omnipresence, which, in turn, gives her crazy map pressure, little downtime, and very good objective control. Probably one of the most underrated aspects of Rek'Sai is her lack of mechanical demand or strategic requirements. What this means is that it's really quite tricky to play a bad Rek'Sai. Her kit is simple to execute, and outside of maintaining an effective tunnel network, you really don't have to worry too much about how or when you're using her abilities. To this end, Rek'Sai is the go-to choice for people who want a simple yet effective bruiser who can dominate early games but also transition well into other aspects of the game. And finally, at numero uno, we have Nidalee. Do any of you remember how ridiculous Nidalee was before Cinderhulk came out? Well, she's barely been touched since those days, and considering the only reason she became less popular was because of her allergic reaction to the tank meta, you can understand what's happening now that the tank meta is fading out. Yes, boys and girls, Nidalee is back, and my god, do I hate playing against this champion. Her early game presence is second to none. Have you ever heard someone say, "Oh, I'm only against a Nidalee, I should be safe this game"? No? Well, that's because a jungler playing against Nidalee is about as safe as a Starbucks Frappuccino in a sorority club. Nidalee preys on enemy junglers like Muslims prey on a prayer mat. If you've ever considered taking any kind of damage while jungling, you might want to reconsider lest you take a spear out of nowhere and get comboed so hard your screen turns black and white and you're left questioning why you didn't ban the bestial huntress. Whereas vulnerability and squishiness is inevitable in the early game, the tankier opponents get, the harder it is for Nidalee to feed off them. In the Cinderhulk era, this made Nidalee more prone to becoming useless as the game progressed. Right now, where tanks are less popular and common tank items have been nerfed, Nidalee can have more of a lasting impact. The only thing Nidalee truly needs to be afraid of is being locked down and focused, but she's usually good at avoiding those situations thanks to her really good mobility. Overall, be very cautious, especially against those early invades when you're playing versus Nidalee, and if you get to play her, try and be gentle. Anyway, that's the top 5 done, but I do want to give a special mention here to Elise. Honestly, I think she could be top 3. She's really bloody powerful if you're good on her. But I'm just a little hesitant to put her in with all the sudden changes that have affected her. She's had drastic personal changes, there have been changes to Runeglaive, and there's been that AP item overhaul. But, like I say, I do think she is really good right now. And of course guys, just because your favourite champion wasn't on the list doesn't mean that they're not good. I just think that those mentioned are better for winning solo queue. You still have people like Rengar, Echo, Master Yi, just to name a few, who are all really good still. So that's it for this list. Let me know what you think about them in the comments. Don't forget to check out Fire's channel for all of the other roles if you're interested. There'll be a link in the description where you can go and do that. But still, I hope you enjoyed this video guys. If you did, feel free to give it a thumbs up. You can subscribe to me for more educational league content with a bit of entertaining stuff on the side as well. You can go and subscribe to Fire for very similar things. Don't forget to go follow me on Twitter and go like me on Facebook if you want to stay up to date with what's going on in the Foxy world. You can also go and find me streaming on Twitch. All of those links guys, they're in the description. But most importantly, I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.